Welcome to the Hearthstone's Softest Glow, a tranquil tale woven to gently guide you toward peaceful dreams and quiet rest. If you find comfort in this story and would like to discover more narratives designed for relaxation, we kindly invite you to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Before we settle into the cozy village of Oakhaven and the gentle magic of the Hearthstone, we will begin with a short breathing exercise to ease your mind and body. If you'd prefer to drift directly into the narrative, you can easily skip ahead to the story's beginning by using the chapter timestamps provided in the video description below. Now, allow yourself to become comfortable wherever you are listening. Let your body soften against your support, whether it's your bed or your favorite chair. Imagine you are nestled in a warm, inviting cottage, just like Elsie's at the edge of the whispering woods. Let go of any tension held in your shoulders or jaw and feel yourself sinking deeper into a state of ease. This is your time to unwind, to leave the day behind, and to welcome the gentle warmth and whispered stories of the Hearthstone into your evening. Let's begin with a calming breath together. Gently inhale through your nose, drawing in a slow, steady breath as if you are breathing in the comforting scent of wood smoke and fragrant herbs from Elsie's garden. Hold it softly for a moment, and then exhale slowly through your mouth, releasing any lingering worries like a soft sigh. With each breath, feel the gentle warmth of the Hearthstone spreading outwards, soothing any areas of your body that feel tense. Visualize the soft glow of the stone. Imagine the quiet murmur of the nearby woods, and let these peaceful images settle your mind. If your thoughts begin to drift away, know that it is perfectly natural. Simply acknowledge them gently, like noticing a leaf falling softly from a tree in the whispering woods, and then softly guide your attention back to your breath and back to your breath, or to the sound of my voice. There is nothing you need to do except listen and allow the story to envelop you in its calm embrace. Feel the gentle rhythm of the fire crackling softly in the hearth, the slow, steady beat of peace settling around you. Let it carry away any remaining cares, inviting you into a haven of tranquility and rest. Now let us journey to Oakhaven and discover the gentle magic of the Hearthstone's softest glow. Chapter 1. Embers of Remembrance. Elsie arrived in Oakhaven as the last rays of the autumn sun painted the sky in soft hues of rose and gold. The air held a crisp coolness, carrying the scent of pine from the nearby whispering woods, and a faint whisper of wood smoke from village hearths already beginning to glow against the approaching twilight. She guided her small cart along the cobblestone path towards the edge of the village, the wheels making a gentle, rhythmic rumble on the ancient stones, a sound that felt surprisingly comforting in the quiet evening. Ahead, nestled amongst the trees, stood the cottage, its thatched roof softened with moss and age, smoke curling invitingly from its chimney. It was her grandmother's home, now hers, a place filled with echoes of cherished memories and the quiet ache of recent loss. Unpacking was a slow, deliberate affair, each item unwrapped and placed within the familiar space felt like a small act of remembrance. Her grandmother's worn wooden rocking chair settled comfortably by the window overlooking the garden. A collection of well-loved herbalism books found their place on the sturdy shelves, and the scent of dried lavender and chamomile, lingering from her grandmother's remedies, already seemed to permeate the air. As dusk deepened, Elsie turned her attention to the cottage's heart, the large stone hearth in the main room. It was shadowed and cold, filled with the grey remnants of past fires, a silent space waiting to be awakened. With gentle hands, Elsie began to clear the hearth, carefully removing the ashes and soot, revealing the smooth, worn stones beneath. As she delved deeper, her fingers brushed against something unexpectedly warm amidst the cold debris. Nestled at the base of the hearth, half buried in ash, was a stone unlike the others. It was smooth and round, a soft gray in color, and radiated a gentle, persistent warmth, even in the cool evening air. Curiosity piqued, Elsie lifted it out, brushing away the clinging ash to reveal its unblemished surface. As she held the stone in her palm, a subtle, comforting heat seemed to seep into her skin, a warmth that spread gently through her hand and up her arm. A faint shimmer of light, like heat haze on a summer's day, pulsed softly from within the stone, barely visible, yet undeniably present. And then, a sound, so quiet it was almost a feeling, brushed against her awareness, a whisper, like the rustle of leaves in a gentle breeze, a story just on the edge of hearing. It was a story of night flowers, Elsie realized, as she listened closer, their petals unfurling under the soft light of a gentle moon. The whisper described velvety petals, the pale luminescence of their blooms in the darkness, and the sweet, subtle fragrance they released into the still night air. The story unfolded at a slow, unhurried pace, each word a gentle caress, each image painted in soft, muted tones. Elsie found herself drawn into the quiet narrative, the day's weariness beginning to melt away under the hearthstone's gentle influence. The cottage felt different now, warmer somehow, not just in temperature, but in atmosphere. The air itself seemed to hum with a quiet contentment, a subtle vibration of peace that settled around her like a soft blanket. She placed the stone back into the hearth, nestling it amongst the cleaned stones, and watched as the soft, warm glow seemed to intensify slightly, spreading a gentle light across the room. The fire had not even been lit, yet the hearth radiated a comforting presence, a gentle promise of warmth and tranquility. Elsie sat back on her heels, watching the soft shimmer of the stone, listening to the continued whisper of night flowers and moonlight, a sense of profound peace beginning to settle within her, a quiet ember of hope rekindling in her heart alongside the hearthstone's soft glow. Perhaps, in this quiet cottage, with this gentle magic, she could truly begin to find her way again. The evening deepened, the village of Oakhaven settling into its nightly slumber. Outside, the whispering woods murmured secrets to the rising moon. Inside the cottage, the hearthstone pulsed with its gentle light, weaving stories of peace and calm, a silent lullaby for the quiet of the night. Chapter 2. Whispers in the Firelight. The morning in Oakhaven dawned with a soft, pearlescent light filtering through the cottage windows. Elsie awoke to the gentle chirping of bird song and a subtle, lingering warmth that seemed to emanate from the very walls themselves. As she descended the creaking wooden stairs, The hearth in the main room greeted her with its soft, unwavering glow, the stone pulsing with a gentle light that painted the room in warm, inviting shadows. The air felt still and calm, carrying the faint, sweet scent of night flowers, a lingering fragrance from the Hearthstone's whispered tale of the previous evening. Elsie moved through her morning routine with a quiet grace. She heated water for herbal tea, the kettle whistling a soft melodic tune as steam curled into the air. She chose chamomile and lavender, their dried leaves releasing their calming aromas as she steeped them in the warm water. Sipping the fragrant tea, she gazed out at the garden, dew still clinging to the leaves of herbs and flowers, the world awakening slowly, bathed in the gentle morning light. A sense of peaceful anticipation settled over her as she considered the day ahead in her grandmother's tranquil cottage. Later that morning, as Elsie tended to the overgrown garden, gently weeding and watering the thirsty plants, a slow, deliberate footstep crunched on the gravel path leading to the cottage. She looked up to see Old Man Hemlock, the village elder, approaching, leaning on his sturdy wooden cane. His face, etched with the wisdom of years, was softened by a kind smile. He moved slowly, patiently, his presence radiating a quiet steadiness that was deeply comforting. "Good morning, Elsie," he greeted, his voice a low, gentle rumble, like the distant murmur of the whispering woods. "I saw a soft glow from your chimney last evening, a little different than a regular fire. I was drawn to it, I must confess." He gestured towards the cottage with a nod of his head, his eyes twinkling with curiosity and a hint of something deeper, something knowing. Elsie invited him inside, the warmth of the hearthstone immediately enveloping them as they entered. Old Man Hemlock paused just inside the doorway, his gaze drawn to the hearth. He slowly approached it, his hand outstretched, until his fingers rested gently on the smooth gray stone. He closed his eyes for a moment, a soft sigh escaping his lips. "Ah," he murmured, "it is as I suspected. The Hearthstone of Oakhaven awakens." He settled into the rocking chair by the window, Elsie joining him with a fresh pot of herbal tea. As the afternoon sunlight streamed softly into the room, Hemlock recounted the legends of the Hearthstone, tales passed down through generations of Oakhaven villagers. He spoke of its gentle magic, its ability to soothe troubled minds and mend weary spirits, how it was said to whisper stories of comfort and peace to those who listened closely. His voice, calm and rhythmic, wove through the quiet cottage air, enhanced, Elsie noticed, by the soft, consistent glow of the stone, the stories and the Hearthstone's magic intertwining seamlessly. As dusk began to settle, painting the sky in soft, deepening shades of twilight, a few more villagers, drawn by a similar gentle curiosity, began to gather at Elsie's cottage. They sat around the hearth, drawn in by its inviting warmth and the sense of tranquility that seemed to emanate from it. Elsie offered warm herbal tea, the fragrant steam mingling with the scent of wood smoke beginning to rise from the newly lit fire in the hearth, kindled gently beside the magical stone. Hemlock continued his stories, now sharing local folklore and gentle parables, his voice a soothing melody in the firelight. The Hearthstone's glow seemed to deepen and soften, casting the gathered villagers in a warm amber light. A sense of shared peace settled amongst them, a quiet understanding and connection forming in the stillness of the evening. Worries and cares seemed to melt away in the presence of the gentle magic, replaced by a shared sense of comfort and belonging. As the evening deepened further and the village of Oakhaven prepared for sleep, the villagers slowly dispersed, carrying with them a sense of the peaceful respite and the lingering warmth of the Hearthstone's glow. Elsie watched them go, a gentle smile gracing her lips. The Hearthstone was not just warming her cottage, it was beginning to warm the heart of Oakhaven itself, a soft, steady beacon of tranquility in the quiet village night. Chapter 3. The Garden's Gentle Wisdom. Days in Oakhaven settled into a peaceful rhythm, guided by the gentle cycles of nature and the soft, steady glow of the Hearthstone. Elsie found herself spending more and more time in her grandmother's garden, drawn to its quiet embrace and the subtle promise of healing held within its verdant depths. The garden, though slightly overgrown from neglect, was far from untamed. It held a wild beauty, a charming disarray of fragrant herbs, colorful flowers, and climbing vines, all interwoven as if in a natural tapestry of soothing textures and scents. Each morning, after her calming cup of herbal tea by the hearth, Elsie would venture into the garden, her presence a quiet addition to the already tranquil space. The air here was always fresh and clean, carrying the mingled fragrances of lavender, rosemary, and chamomile, warmed by the morning sun. Gentle buzzing of bees drifted from blossom to blossom, a low, continuous hum that formed a peaceful backdrop to her work. The soil, rich and dark, felt cool and yielding beneath her fingers as she weeded and tended to the plants. She began to rediscover her grandmother's knowledge of herbs, recalling whispered lessons and observing the subtle ways each plant seemed to offer its own form of comfort. The lavender, with its delicate purple blooms, breathed a calming scent into the air. The chamomile, small and unassuming, promised gentle sleep. Rosemary, sharp and invigorating, offered clarity and focus. As Elsie worked, she felt a growing connection to the garden, a sense of kinship with the quiet wisdom held within each leaf and petal. It was as if the Hearthstone's gentle magic, while centered in the cottage, also subtly permeated the surrounding land, imbuing the garden with an enhanced sense of tranquility. The herbs seemed particularly vibrant, their scents more pronounced, their leaves a deeper, richer green. The flowers bloomed with an almost luminous softness, their colors radiating a gentle light, especially in the early morning and late afternoon sun. Elsie noticed that even on days when her heart felt heavy with lingering grief, spending time in the garden offered a profound sense of solace. The simple act of tending to the plants, feeling the earth beneath her hands, inhaling the soothing scents, and listening to the gentle sounds of nature gradually eased the tightness in her chest and calmed the restless thoughts in her mind. The garden was becoming her sanctuary, a place of quiet healing and gentle renewal. She started experimenting with creating new herbal blends, inspired by the garden's abundance and the subtle whispers of the Hearthstone's magic that seemed to guide her intuition. She mixed chamomile and lavender for a calming tea, rosemary and mint for a refreshing infusion, and lemon balm and vervain for soothing nervous tension. Each blend felt intuitively right, as if the garden itself was guiding her hand. whispering recipes of natural comfort through the rustling leaves and fragrant blossoms. As the weeks turned into months, Elsie's garden flourished, becoming a vibrant haven of tranquility and gentle beauty. It became a place not just for her own solace, but also for the villagers of Oakhaven to find respite. Often, villagers would wander into the garden, drawn by its peaceful atmosphere and the comforting scents that drifted on the gentle breeze. They would sit amongst the flowers, breathe deeply, and find a quiet moment of calm amidst their day. Elsie realized that her grandmother's legacy extended far beyond the cottage walls. It was woven into the very fabric of Oakhaven, in the gentle wisdom of the herbs, in the quiet magic of the Hearthstone, and now in the flourishing beauty of the garden. And as she tended to her plants each day, she felt a deep sense of gratitude, a quiet understanding that healing, like growth, was a gentle, patient process, unfolding slowly, beautifully, in the heart of the garden's tranquil wisdom. Chapter 4. Dreams Woven in Starlight. One late afternoon, as the shadows lengthened and the village began to quieten, a soft knock echoed at Elsie's cottage door. Opening it, she found a woman standing on the doorstep, her face etched with worry, a small boy clinging hesitantly to her skirts. The woman introduced herself as Martha, and the boy, with wide, anxious eyes, was her son Finn. Martha explained, her voice hushed and concerned, that Finn had been plagued by restless nights and unsettling dreams, and she had heard whispers in the village about the gentle magic of Elsie's Hearthstone. Hesitantly, Martha asked if perhaps the Hearthstone's warmth could offer Finn some comfort, a respite from his troubled sleep. Elsie, her heart softening at the sight of Finn's quiet unease, readily welcomed them into the cottage. The Hearthstone pulsed with its usual soft glow, casting a warm, inviting light across the room. Finn, initially shy, was drawn to the gentle light, his gaze fixed on the stone as he and his mother settled near the hearth. Elsie offered them warm apple and cinnamon tea, the comforting aroma filling the air. As they sipped their tea, Martha recounted Finn's nighttime anxieties, the shadows that seemed to lengthen in his dreams, the whispers that troubled his sleep. Finn remained mostly silent, his small hand clutching his mother's, his eyes still drawn to the softly glowing hearthstone. Elsie listened patiently, her presence calm and reassuring, her voice gentle as she spoke. When Martha finished, Elsie turned to Finn, her eyes meeting his with a warm, understanding gaze. "Finn," she said softly, "sometimes the night can feel a little bit murky, can't it? Like things hide in the shadows. But the stars are always there, even if we can't always see them. And sometimes stories can be like little stars. They can shine a gentle light into the dark places." She suggested, almost as an invitation, "Would you like to hear a story about stars? A quiet story about how they twinkle so softly and watch over us all through the night?" Finn, with a small, almost imperceptible nod, indicated his agreement, his gaze never leaving the hearthstone's gentle light. Elsie settled herself comfortably by the hearth, the fire crackling softly beside the magical stone, and began to weave a simple tale. Her story was of stars, not as distant, unreachable lights, but as tiny, friendly lanterns, each one holding a gentle whisper of peace. She described how they twinkled in the vast night sky, each shimmer a silent promise of calm, a reassurance that even in the deepest darkness, there was always light. She spoke of constellations as gentle patterns in the sky, friendly shapes that watched over the sleeping world, their light weaving a blanket of quiet protection. As she spoke, her voice remained soft and rhythmic, each word carefully chosen, each sentence a gentle caress. As Elsie's story unfolded, the Hearthstone's glow seemed to deepen and soften further, casting a warm amber light that enveloped Finn and his mother. Finn's breathing, initially shallow and quick, began to slow and deepen. His small hand, still in his mother's, gradually relaxed its tight grip. His eyelids began to droop, his anxiousness visibly melting away, replaced by a growing sense of peace. By the time Elsie reached the end of her tale, describing the stars as softly singing lullabies to the sleeping world, Finn had completely relaxed against his mother, his eyes closed, his breathing even and peaceful. Martha looked at Elsie, her eyes filled with gratitude and wonder. It was as if the Hearthstone's gentle magic, combined with Elsie's soothing story, had woven a protective calm around the young boy, not just for his waking hours, but for the realm of his dreams, promising a night of peaceful slumber under the watchful, gentle gaze of the stars. Chapter 5. A Hearth for Every Heart. Word of the Hearthstone's gentle magic and Elsie's quiet kindness spread through Oakhaven like the soft scent of wood smoke on a still evening. More and more villagers found themselves drawn to Elsie's cottage, seeking not just warmth from the autumn chill, but also a haven from the small worries and daily cares that gently brushed against their lives. Evenings at the cottage became a regular gathering, a peaceful ritual of shared stories, quiet companionship, and the soothing presence of the Hearthstone's soft glow. The cottage transformed into a sanctuary, a place where the hurried pace of the day slowed to a gentle amble, where voices softened, and where the simple act of being together in quiet comfort held a profound sense of solace. Villagers of all ages came, the baker with flour dusting his apron, the weaver with thread still clinging to her fingers, the children after their day's play, each seeking a moment of respite by the hearth's tranquil light. Elsie, with her gentle nature and her growing knowledge of herbal remedies and comforting stories, became the heart of these gatherings, a quiet presence fostering an atmosphere of peace and understanding. She would brew pots of fragrant herbal tea, its steam curling upwards in the soft light, offering warmth and soothing aromas. She would listen patiently as villagers shared their day's happenings, their small joys and minor burdens, offering gentle words of comfort and support, her voice as calming as the rustling leaves in the whispering woods. Old Man Hemlock, often present at these gatherings, would continue to share tales of Oakhaven's past, weaving stories of resilience, kindness, and the enduring power of community. His voice, intertwined with the soft crackle of the fire and the gentle hum of conversation, created a tapestry of sound that enveloped everyone in a sense of shared history and belonging. The Hearthstone, at the center of it all, pulsed with its unwavering glow, its gentle magic subtly amplifying the sense of peace and connection within the cottage. Looking around at the gathered villagers, bathed in the warm amber light, Elsie began to truly understand her grandmother's legacy. It wasn't just about herbal remedies. or whispered tales. It was about creating a space for gentle healing, a refuge where hearts could find comfort and spirits could be soothed. Her grandmother had unknowingly, or perhaps knowingly, left her more than just a cottage and a garden. She had entrusted her with a role in nurturing the very soul of Oakhaven, a role Elsie was now beginning to embrace with quiet confidence. The Hearthstone, she realized, was more than just a magical object. It was a symbol of Oakhaven's enduring spirit of gentle kindness and community. Its soft glow represented the warmth and connection that bound the villagers together, a constant reminder of the peace that could be found in shared moments of tranquility and mutual support. It was a hearth for every heart in Oakhaven, radiating outwards, offering solace and comfort to all who sought it. As the seasons turned and winter's quiet embrace settled over Oakhaven, the cottage and its hearthstone continued to be a beacon of warmth and peace. The villagers continued to gather, finding strength and solace in each other's company and in the enduring magic of the hearthstone's soft glow. And Elsie, tending her garden, brewing her teas, and whispering her stories, knew that her grandmother's gentle legacy lived on, not just in her hands, but in the heart of Oakhaven, a quiet, steady flame of peace burning bright in the tranquil village night, promising rest and gentle dreams to all who listened to the Hearthstone's soft whispered lullaby. And so, in the heart of Oakhaven, nestled beside the whispering woods, the Hearthstone continued to glow, its gentle warmth and whispered stories weaving a tapestry of peace and tranquility, offering a quiet haven, a hearth for every heart, for generations to come, ensuring that the village and all who listened to its tales could always find their way to a peaceful and restful night.